Today we got two seriously powerful heroes going head to head. Thor, the god of thunder, taking on Spawn. Who comes out on top? Well, let's find out. Thor is the Asgardian god of thunder and the son of Odin, the all-father of Asgard, and the elder earth goddess Gaia. Combining the power of both worlds, Thor is arguably the greatest and mightiest defender of both. Armed with his powerful enchanted Uru hammer Mjolnir, Thor is the mightiest warrior of Asgard, a founding member of the Avengers, one of the strongest, most powerful beings on Earth. Thor is the strongest of the Asgardian gods, and his strength is considered to be incalculable and doesn't really have an upper limit. It's comparable to Hulk and Hercules. He can destroy entire planets with the force of his blows, and he's lifted the Midgard serpent, which was larger and weighed much more than the Earth. Thor is also one of the most durable heroes of the Marvel Universe, and has been able to withstand attacks from Hulk, planet-shattering blows, and energy blasts from Celestials and Odin. He's also able to go for extended periods of time without food, water, and sleep, and one time fought the Frost Giants for 9 months straight. Thor is one of the most trained and experienced warriors in the Marvel Universe, and actually a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, even though he tends to use a brawling technique. He's also a highly skilled weapons expert, with the most notable weapon being Mjolnir. Now, besides the obvious fact that the hammer can be used to hit stuff and even destroy mountains and planets, Mjolnir has a ton of abilities. Thor can control the weather, even affecting it on a planetary scale, unleash electrical storms, hurricane winds, tornadoes, tidal waves, blizzards, and earthquakes. He's even done some out-of-the-box things too, like when he made it rain fire. While Thor doesn't have the innate ability to fly, if he swings Mjolnir at fast and light speeds, he is then able to fly. Thor can manipulate matter on a vast scale, and has the ability to transmute elements. He's able to turn intangible and invisible, and Mjolnir is also able to create nearly impenetrable force fields. Thor is able to absorb and project energy blasts with Mjolnir, because they have to wait for an opponent to shoot a blast of energy, but can absorb it directly from their body. One of Thor's most powerful attacks is the God Blast, which killed the Midgard serpent and injured Galactus. He also has the Anti-Force, which is unbelievably powerful and took out the entire Battle Barbarians in one blast. That's what we got in one corner, one of the strongest Avengers, most powerful heroes of Earth, Thor. But, entering the ring, in the other corner, straight out of hell, Spawn. Albert Al Simmons was a highly trained assassin, but was murdered by his employer, former friend Chapel. He sold his soul to one of the many rulers of hell in order to see his wife Wanda Blake again. However, that ruler had other things in mind for Al, and sent him back to Earth with no memory as a Hellspawn, one of his soldiers, to do his bidding. The source of Spawn's powers come from necroplasm, which gives him his superhuman strength and durability. He's even able to easily lift an entire building and throw it. Spawn's main weapon is his symbiotic suit, which is called Letha the 7th House of K, or K7 Letha. The costume feeds off the necroplasm in his body, but the suit can also be powered by the evil from humans, certain animals like insects or bats, or even different parts of the city itself. This suit is actually connected to his central nervous system, and that allows him to control all the parts of the suit, and the suit even protects him when he's unconscious. Spawn uses the suit to create chains and spikes, and he's able to attack enemies with his cape, and the cape has been able to cut and dismember limbs. Now, what's interesting is that Spawn's powers are really only limited by his imagination, but because of his military training, he often prefers to use firearms instead of his powers. Spawn also has powers that are unique to him and other Hellspawns don't have. He can attack when someone is in danger or has been killed. He's also able to feel negative emotions like pain, hatred, and misery. There's also a time where Spawn possessed 6,000 souls inside his body and drew upon their powers, but the souls have now been removed. However, he still has access to their knowledge and experience. Spawn also has access to a plethora of magical powers as long as he has the energy stored to perform the abilities. Spawn can breathe hellfire, shoot energy blasts from his hands, generate electricity, set people on fire, can create and control plants, summon a Hellspawn army, teleport, turn intangible and invisible, phase through objects, stop time, resurrect the dead, has a healing ability, can launch telepathic attacks, and has his own version of the Penance Stare, where instead of making people feel the pain of their past, souls they have injured or wronged actually come back and attack the person's soul. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I've actually kind of done a fight like this before, with Thor and Sentry taking on Ghost Rider and Spawn. And Ghost Rider and Spawn actually came out on top, mostly due to their magical powers. But that fight was using those heroes in a more bloodlusted and powerful form. This fight's just gonna be good old normal Thor versus good old normal Spawn. Who comes out on top in that situation? Well, that's what we're gonna find out. Now, first thing we're gonna take a look at is physicality. Which of these two heroes is physically superior? Well, with Spawn, he kind of does vary in strength quite a bit, depending upon if he's using natural strength or if he wants to amp his power. Spawn is able to punch a demon's head off, tear people apart, block strikes from Violator and other superhumans, and even his suit is strong enough to easily tear up trees and throw them at lightning speed. But when Spawn amps his strength, well, he's gone up against Urizen, who was the child of the Man of Miracles, and Spawn actually lifted up his foot. If he really wanted to, Spawn could just increase his size and grow to the size of the Savior, obviously increasing his strength as well. But Thor has still got Spawn beat, and kinda by a significant margin. I mean, Thor is easily one of the strongest heroes in the Marvel Universe. No question about it. He's strong enough to bench press small planets. He's armor stood against Hercules during a force to throw the planet out of orbit, and managed to pull the Midgard serpent off of the Earth, who is strong enough to destroy the Earth by literally crushing it. He's overwhelmed the force of the World Engine, which is moving 9 planets. His punches have enough power behind them to demolish worlds, and then he has Mjolnir by his side. He's said before that he's used Mjolnir to shatter several moons. He strikes with enough force to shatter small planets, and in his fight against Gore, Thor was able to strike hard enough to create shockwaves that shattered worlds all around him. No doubt about it, Thor is stronger here, even including when Spawn amps his strength and power. So what about durability? Well, Spawn is actually incredibly durable. His body made of 400 pounds of pure psychoplasm, and just naturally as dense as cement. He's able to effortlessly fall from 5 miles up in the sky and safely land. Is seemingly unharmed by massive explosions. He's able to take lightning bolts and survive a booby trap that blasted him with 50,000 volts of electricity. But where Spawn really shines is his ability to just take attacks and keep on coming. His almost ungodly healing factor. Spawn has had his heart plucked from his chest, been torn apart, had his face torn off, been decapitated, and is able to heal all the damage he took from Violator with ease. Spawn has actually been taken into the Dead Zone, a place that negates heaven's and hell's powers. Had his head blown off. As soon as he left the Dead Zone, he just instantly regrew his head. That's crazy impressive. But Thor is naturally just tougher and more durable. Like if Spawn's body is as dense and tough as cement, Thor's body is dense and tough enough to where Wolverine is barely able to scratch him. He's unhurt by planetary explosions, taking hits from Hulk, Juggernaut, and Thanos, and took a punch from Death Seed Sentry that was said to be felt all around the world. He's also been able to survive in stars as a child, endured planet-destroying blasts from Thanos, and attacks from an enraged Black Bolt. Thor is also able to withstand some magical attacks, survive matter manipulation because Thor's molecules are immortal. He's unhurt by Ghost Rider's Hellfire, and he's unfazed by time manipulation waves that is normal men to dust in seconds. Spawn might have a better healing factor, but Thor just doesn't really need it. He's just naturally tougher and more durable. So finally, what about speed? Now this is obviously Thor's weakest section, because the very best that you can say about him is that he's inconsistent when it comes to speed. Because on one hand, he'll block sniper fire, actually block bullets on repeated occasions, and deflect and intercept missiles being fired at him. He's also fought against people like Gladiator, Hyperion, and Silver Surfer, who are all bona fide super speedsters. But on the other hand, he's been outmaneuvered by Daredevil. In his fight against Wolverine, Thor even said that Logan was too fast for him. On the other hand, Spawn is able to move so fast that he appears as just a crimson blur. He's able to move his chains faster than a speeding bullet, catch people as they are falling off of buildings. He'll move faster and dodge laser blast and shots from alien rifles. Then with his teleportation, well, he's actually able to travel at the speed of light. Although, to be fair, Thor is able to do the same thing as he travels when he's flying with Mjolnir. End of the day, Spawn might hold the slight edge when it comes to speed and agility. He's also a lot more likely to use it in a fight. But Thor definitely takes the edge when it comes to strength and durability. There's a larger margin between those two than there is with speed. However, that is honestly no problem for Spawn, considering that his true power doesn't really lie in his physical strength and power, but just in his magic and how many hacks abilities he has. This is honestly one of the biggest aspects of the fight, and a possible game changer for Spawn. You see, Spawn's powers are based upon magic. That means that he's pretty much limited by just his imagination and how much necro power he has on him, which is limited to a 9,999 counter. Although, don't let that necessarily fool you, because Spawn has never really run out of energy in a fight. Safe to say that it'll take him lots of hours in battle before he's actually drained. The second part of Spawn's powers come from the suit itself, named K7 Letha. And this suit gives him access to certain abilities that his necro power doesn't need to be used for. Then, finally, third aspect of his powers come from the Earth itself, also known as the Green World. This third aspect gives him essentially world-level empathy, as well as minor control over the Earth, being able to trigger things like earthquakes and tidal waves. But with all this magical power, he can revive the dead, summon magical fire, spit out spiritual acid, and just shoot out powerful magical blast. He can draw in the sin and wickedness from others, then turn it back on them, can cast illusions, and instantly heal himself and others, even instantly replacing his heart. He's able to stop time altogether, summon entire tidal waves or forest of trees, and even draw the sins from an entire city full of people, then send them out to be laid upon one single person. Spawn even has its own version of the penance stare, where instead of making people feel the pain of their past, souls that they have injured or wronged actually come back and attack the person's souls. He's also incredibly savage and brutal, like one time when he teleported inside of someone, then burst them open from the inside out, when he turned people's blood into poison, commanded a whole bunch of critters to go into someone and eat them from the inside out, or just de-skin someone, still leaving them alive in the process. Thor might be a god, he might have seen centuries of battle and war, but I'm sure Spawn can come up with some gruesome methods that would even give him pause. However, to be fair, Thor does have some magical powers as well. He's been able to injure Mangog with energy beam, send out a blast and send an enemy flying from the earth to the center of the sun, absorb and redirect enough energy to ignite a star and a planet-destroying blast from Thanos. He's able to open up portals and teleport himself and others wherever he wants, even banishing enemies to other dimensions. He's also able to control the weather in all sorts of ways, summoning enough lightning to weld the tectonic plates of a planet together and nearly split a planet in half, cover most of the earth in rain and storms, and has created winds powerful enough to shatter mountains, nearly destroy half the planet. However, Thor's go-to tactic is just to use Mjolnir to attack people. He's able to hit with the force of 500,000 tons of TNT, throw Mjolnir faster than light, and have it return to his hand no matter what. He's actually fairly skilled at ricocheting the hammer as well. So Thor has some versatility of his own, even though Spawn is a lot more likely to use his versatility in this battle. The problem is, Thor is just too durable. Like he's able to just withstand a lot of the attacks that Spawn can throw at him, regardless of how versatile the attack is. I mean, for starters, Thor's taken plenty of attacks on people a whole lot stronger than Spawn, so Spawn's strength isn't going to be too much of a concern. Thor's also unhurt by acid, even dehydrating chemicals that instantly kill men. He's pretty much unfazed by poison as well, even poison that can instantly kill demons. Thor's endured Loki's magic before, is unhurt by Ghost Rider's hellfire, Mephisto cannot harm his soul, and Decay's touch, which instantly rots living things, doesn't affect Thor. He's not been affected by time manipulation that has both aged men into dust and de-aged them until they'd never been born. He's got tornadoes that prevented him from being frozen in time, and matter replacement abilities and areas that turn blood into rock or water don't affect Thor either. Even if Thor is injured by one of Spawn's attacks, well, he's kept on fighting after having his jaw nearly torn off, being impaled in several places, and having his liver turned into glass. End of the day, Thor's just more powerful here. Yes, Spawn has plenty of magical abilities, but Thor's done stuff like knock out the Phoenix Force, hit Gore hard enough to shatter nearby worlds, create worldwide storms, and even hurt Chaos King and kill the Void. Spawn is obviously insanely tough, and he'll win if he plays his cards right, considering that he's taken down massive threats before. But Thor really is just more powerful here, and is ultimately coming out on top. Thor wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to like button, the subscribe button, turn on notifications, join the DanCo army, and I will see you next time.